Please consider this. The one you've spent your whole life with, the one who knows you best and your eccentricities, your sense of humor and your fears are all of a sudden limited to a hospital bed. A complex network of devices and wires surrounds him. The once indestructible heart feels exposed all of a sudden. The constant, rhythmic pulse of monitors has replaced the laughter that once filled your home. It was as if Kelly Ripa were transported to a world beyond the daytime soap show. The transfer of Mark Consuelos to the intensive care unit ICU caused complete chaos in her life. The impending clash she was about to encounter had no one prepared for it. The sound of Kelly's voice always makes us smile when we wake up, but she just recently admitted that she was terrified of being a witness to Mark's emergency transfer to the hospital. While following the gurney to take her husband to the acute care unit, she remembered the whir of sirens, the cold white hallways, and the hastily whispered prayers. This is her exact wording. Nothing was making sense to me. We went from talking about where we were going to eat supper to my biggest worries about his leaving in an instant. Fans were taken aback by what happened next. In spite of his early communication challenges in the intensive care unit, Mark was adamant about visiting their children. This wasn't your average request. An emotional father shared his deepest wish. He wanted his message to go straight to his kids, not about his sickness or pain, but about love, even though he was totally exposed. Before the chance went away, he wanted to make sure everyone knew how important it was. Kelly felt her heart sink as she heard that one request whispered in a way that no camera could ever do justice. The plot gets more complicated now. Why? Simply said, it was easier to say yes to Mark than to really grant his request. Their children's increasing autonomy in the workplace and classroom was something they took great pride in. Kelly didn't know what to do. Do you think she should give in to their dad's wish and protect them from the sudden worry about his health? Should she obey his demand and make them face an unprepared reality though? Everything changed for the family when she made the decision to love. Emotions ran high during the get-together the moment the kids showed up. Mark kept his cool and concentrated on being a father figure, according to Kelly. His kids will never forget the impact of his one-on-one chats with them. He spoke to his eldest kid about the need of being responsible and bold. His middle child, he told her, should be strong and kind. He whispered a tale to his youngest about the power of joy and laughter to strengthen you. Nevertheless, the mental strain became more substantial throughout this stage. Kelly said she could tell her husband was getting the family ready for more than just a physical recovery since she watched him speak. He might have been making arrangements for his own downfall. The special mix of love and grief that only a person on the verge of death can show in their eyes was plainly seen to her. For Kelly, it was the worst possible situation. Her husband seems to have reconciled himself to the idea of bidding farewell. How can you stay positive when faced with such adversity? For many, this is the emotionally wrenching scene. As the kids played outside, Mark pleaded with Kelly in a low voice to tell them he loved them again and over. He told me, "Promise me you'll keep telling them for me if I can't say it tomorrow." That plea, that last request, made Kelly very sad. Conversely, it was just the feeling that prompted her to stay by his side and press on when it looked like there was no hope. Still, there was mystery. Were they their final remarks as a unit? Could those words be his last will and testament? In the intensive care unit waiting area, Kelly explained that she stayed awake due to her fear. What she held onto were their shared beliefs, memories of their youth, and the profound experiences they had. Plus, she had a revelation during those long, peaceful nights. At some point, every family goes through this. You might not find it at a hospital though. Perhaps not under the intense lighting of the intensive care unit. Yet in situations such as these, when everything we say has profound consequences, the future is hazy and unpredictable, and fear and love are at odds with one another. The following statement that Kelly made to her fans was influenced by that realization. Do something right now. Express your love for them immediately. Pardon without hesitation. Make fun of it. Do not forget, and do not hesitate to hug. There's nothing more important than love when we are in the ICU. In most cases, we can feel the passage of time as it draws near. There is a happy conclusion to Kelly's story, because, as is customary for Consuelos, Mark's doggedness started to show. Slowly but surely, medical professionals started to see some progress. He felt a diminution of his respiratory distress. Once again, his cheeks turned red. His smile brightened up again. It was as if every tiny change was a gift. There appeared to be a silver lining to every adjustment. As one traveled along the road, the healing process slowed. Still, small wins here and there indicated health was on the upswing. When Mark was finally unplugged from the machine that had been his lifeline, he could breathe properly again. He felt his chest rise and fall with a distinct intensity, which Kelly recalled as she took his hand. Tears were falling from her eyes as she said, she had never heard a more exquisite sound than that, surpassing even the laughing of the studio or the cries of gratitude. His voice returned shortly thereafter, which was yet another miracle. From its low, hushed beginnings, a weak echo of the lively man she knew, it became more audible and kind. The kids would be completely honest about their lives in the isolated chamber. From assignments to schoolwork to work schedules and funny stories about friends, Mark could finally do more than just nod and hold hands for what seemed like a lifetime. He would ask a question, offer some wise fatherly advice, or crack a kind joke. It was his laughter, Kelly claims, that gave her optimism that Dad was really coming back to them. Optimism finally drowned out the mechanical noises. Fighting back took a toll on my body. Mark occasionally became frustrated by the fact that he, who had once been powerful and dominating, now struggled with things that seemed inconsequential. The process of learning to sit up and stand up was as daunting as climbing Mount Everest. He walked gingerly along the hospital hall with the assistance of a physical therapist. It felt as if he had just crossed the finish line. To show their support, his entire family stood around the walls. Kelly thought it showed his tremendous strength when he put one foot in front of the other. Those dogged eyes betrayed the guy she had built a life and a family with. He was determined not to be defined by his infirmity. A tough combatant, he was. Then it dawned on her. He wasn't saying goodbye when he told the kids to be brave, strong, and happy. It was a promise. He was immediately following that code. The day of his formal discharge was a day of widespread emotions. After what seemed like an eternity, they finally emerged from the tunnel. Their worst concerns had finally been alleviated as they were leaving the intensive care unit. Kelly remembered the sun's warmth on Mark's face as she took him out of the hospital. A small act of warmth that seemed like a great gift. There was silence on the way home as everyone expressed their gratitude silently. Everything outside seemed brighter and more colorful. Every detail, from the trees that lined the road to the usual turn into their driveway, appeared remarkable. Now, getting back home wasn't a guarantee of success. On the contrary, it introduced a totally new obstacle. The house, ordinary though it was, became a fortress to keep them safe. Part of getting back to normal was taking it easy for a while, exercising, and resting for weeks. Despite the fact that everything was different, they underwent a remarkable transformation as a result of their ordeal. Everything about their busy public lives appeared to fade into the background at that moment. In the end, it was the quiet that mattered. Having breakfast on the porch with a mug of coffee, watching a cozy movie on the couch, or just being in the same room as someone and experiencing their joyful company. This profound change in outlook is what inspired Kelly to pen their narrative. More than just a medical emergency, this had escalated into something much larger. This important lesson struck her, and she felt driven to tell others about it. She made the observation that, in contrast to the well-orchestrated plots seen on television, major life events in real life often come as complete shocks. The glitz and elegance eventually went away. The only thing that remained after everything they had been through was the fundamental reality. You can't find a steadier than love and family. After witnessing the heartbreaking scene between Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, many are still trying to process what happened. Under the most trying and unexpected of circumstances, Mark voiced his deepest desire, and Kelly's heart was shattered. Sadness, love, and contemplation were among her many feelings. The news reached Mark while he was in the critical care unit, where he was most susceptible. Mark told his children his last wish while he was sick. Kelly felt emotionally drained after hearing his unexpected and earnest wish for his family's future. Mark, the linchpin of their family, has long been known for his unwavering devotion to his loved ones and his steadfast presence in Kelly's life. His vulnerability touched Kelly deeply. Here, Kelly broke down to her followers the meaning of Mark's wish. In addition to making one last appeal, his remarks served as a potent reminder of the importance of spending time with loved ones and the impact that parents can have on their children's lives. Refraining from crying, Kelly reflected on their love and how this dream had deepened her appreciation for every moment she shared with him and their children. In the wake of the revelation, numerous notable personalities and fans have flocked to social media to offer words of encouragement and show their support for the pair. Kelly and Mark's vulnerability during this challenging time has allowed audiences to witness their personal journey, highlighting the importance of family and the life-altering impact of love. There has never been a return to the Live with Kelly and Mark set like the one on the first day. The studio had been a hub of lively conversation, clever one-liners, and entertaining trivia for many years. However, a distinct type of excitement permeated the air on this particular Tuesday morning. While the stage manager counted down, the normally enthusiastic audience sat in respectful, almost reverent, quietness, perhaps waiting for the arrival of special guests and the distribution of prizes.